Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Featured Voice. I am your host, Jacques. This production is produced by the Audio Flow, and I'm so excited that so many of you have enjoyed all of the episodes that we have had recently. We've had Tom Jordan, Roberto Scalarto, and Megan Kelly. And this week, I am excited to present to you another female in the industry. She currently has a little over 20 books under her library, and I'm looking forward to chatting with her because she has a new release that's coming out here shortly, and we've got a clip. So please help me welcome Leonor Woodworth. Good afternoon, Leonor. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Jacques.
I'm so happy to have you here on the show. I know we've been doing a little phone tag, text tag, instant message tag, Skype tag, all of that. And we finally have an opportunity to chat. So thank you so much for your flexibility and thank you so much for being a part of the featured voice.
Oh, well, thank you very much for having me.
So I actually had an opportunity. I think we connected through Audiobook Love, audio. I always mix those groups up, but
Yes,
Audiobook Love.
audiobook lovers.
Yeah, lovers. See, how could I
Yeah.
miss that? Coming from somebody who likes romance, I should know that it's lovers.
Yeah. Yes.
So we met through that particular group, and I love the group because I have an opportunity to meet people that I may not have been able to connect with otherwise, and that's how we found each other. So,
hmm
kudos to them for starting it. So, let's go ahead and dive in a little bit about you and your background. But first, it's Friday. Any plans this weekend?
Yes, my second son is graduating.
Oh,
Yay!
yay! Congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome. And just an FYI, everyone, this is pre-recorded, so that's why I mentioned today was Friday. It will go live on Monday, June 26th. But it's such a beautiful day, and it's been a long week and it's the weekend, and I always like to know what people are doing. And so, congratulations to your son. Now, where are you, Lenore? Where do you live?
I live in upstate New York.
Oh, see, did you go to the APAC?
I did not.
Oh,
I did
see,
not.
I was
I'm
there.
actually my upstate is like farther up than the New York City people upstate.
So you basically in another state. you
Basically. Yeah, yeah.
it's so interesting how New York is. It looks small when you think about geography on a little map, but it's so big, and it's so far apart from everything that you want to get to is very far and spread out. And so yeah, when I hear upstate, I'm like, oh, you're probably not that far. I can get on a subway. And you're saying no, you're pretty much
No,
in Rhode Island.
pretty, pretty much. Go north and just before you hit Canada, yeah, you got me.
Oh, see, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a little bit too far, but hopefully we'll have a chance to meet at some point. I'll have to just make a special trip.
Yay!
Yay! So let's talk a little bit about what you've been up to. So right now, under your library, you have a little over 20 titles. So tell me, what's your journey been like into the world of audiobooks and narrating?
It has been a wild ride. I started back in 2013 with a children's novel, or not even novel, it was a children's story.
Okay.
And it was like a whopping 8 minutes long.
Yay.
And
Short stories are great though. You said a
and
whopping eight.
yes, a whopping 8 minutes. And the author asked me, I recorded it like, I don't know, I want to say like 50 times. It's probably an exaggeration, but it really felt like 50 times. And the author asked me to narrate it in such a way that it was sing-songy.
Hmm.
And So I gave her what she asked for. So yeah, that was really interesting.
So you did a sing-songy children's book that was about 8 minutes that you recorded maybe 50 times, which would be 400 minutes. So I would I would say that was really good.
Thank you.
And now I want to go back and listen to it because um, I started listening to audiobooks probably last year, and I did listen to a couple of children's stories, and I love how the narrator can um, be known for one type of genre and then can still be flexible enough to make their voices sound appealing for children, which
Yeah.
which I would think would be a little difficult. So your whole sing-songy thing, what was your inspiration to kind of tap into what it was the author was looking for?
I had to picture in my mind being in the library at my children's elementary school. Now, this
Mhm.
is, mind you, um, close to 8 years ago, maybe even 10, actually 10 years ago since I was last in elementary school. But I had to picture the librarian there. And when the kids would come in for story time, you have all the little kindergartners and they're so excited. And the
Yes.
librarian's there and she's got the book and she's opening it up. And so very lots of mouth movement, exaggerated movements,
Hmm.
and kind of everything was exaggerated. It was, and then the little boy and the little girl. And so it was just kind of, I had to keep that mindset.
I love it because you brought me back to that excitement of reading and having story time, and
Yeah,
it's so interesting. You know, a lot of people, I don't even know if they do they still do that in schools because everything is electronic. So I don't, it's kind of like, do they still do that? I think it would
they
be fun.
do.
Okay,
They
good.
do.
I'm glad. Thank you, educational system, for still having story time because it's so fun. It allows them to see creativity, and you as well. And I'm glad that you were actually able to go back and reflect on that. So now I want to go look it up. After we finish this call, I'm going to go and find that book and I'm going to listen to it 50 times so I can listen to it the amount of times you recorded it or so I love it, love it, love it. So okay, so that was your intro into audiobooks. So what were you doing prior to this becoming kind of your career?
Before that, I was a stay-at-home mom for close to 17 years.
Okay.
And I loved it because when my kiddos were in elementary school, I could, I was available to be
Hmm.
the homeroom mom or to be I loved taking photographs. So I would go into the kids' classrooms and I would take pictures during Halloween parties, birthday parties, outside fun, end of the year. And I had a blast because I got to know all of the kids in my son's classes.
Hmm.
So now, as I'm graduating my second son, I just see all these kids and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember when you were in kindergarten.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, yeah,
And so the best jobs I think are ones where you actually get to be home and being a mom and seeing your kids grow and you actually have these relationships with their friends and their parents and then
yeah.
and then you kick them out and tell them to go to college and then so and then the next best job is that you are a voiceover actress and you can stay home in your studio and be closed off to the world. So how is that, kind of just being in that space? I always, wonder, do you guys ever kind of just go mad being in that closed off space for long periods of time, or what is it that you do to make sure that you remain? I'm not saying that you're insane or anything like that, but you're in that whole space by yourself. What is it that you? Oh, and I got a video, so I get to see pictures. Oh, is that your family?
Yeah. So my space, I think I would go mad if my space was all one color.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see in my video, but our listeners cannot, I've got color
She
all
does,
around me.
everybody. It's so pretty, and
I've got flowers.
she's got some artwork up there. Did you do that yourself?
I did. And then it's going to be backwards, but I've got this mural here and it says who I am. And it just reminds me of like what I'm doing here and why I've gotten into voiceover. And so I just surround myself with just positiveness and what reminds me of my children. And I've got this fabulous picture here on my wall. I'm going to hold it up for you. But it is,
Ooh,
it's like a library,
yes.
and people are looking at these books. And as they open up the books, it's a door to another adventure.
I love that. I
And
wish you
it was
guys
part
could
of
see it.
it was part of my son's calendar. And I loved it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for that month to be over because I want to steal that. And so
I
I did.
I really wish you guys could see her studio. I mean, is that accent wall? Is that red back there?
Yes,
Is
that's my
okay.
door.
Oh, her door is red, and then she's got like these little open flowers that she made, and then I love her wall. So whenever I get a studio, I want a wall just like that, as full of positive energy, and I think that's what she said that helps her remember her purpose and what she's doing, and you can see this big bright smile on her face. You guys can't see it, but I'm telling you, it's a big bright smile. So you finished up with your first book, and we know kind of how you got into it. So tell us a little bit about what genres you're working in and what you like most about them. Are you more romance, historical romance, science fiction, fantasy? There's pretty much a gazillion genres out there. So, what's your niche?
Um, right now, if you look in my library, I have a lot of romantic suspense, which is very fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some just plain romance. And then I've been working with author Michelle and Brown to bring in more inspirational fiction.
I love it.
So, inspirational fiction, I've been working with author Michelle and Brown, and inspirational fiction is different than the HEA fiction, which is happily ever after. I learned that this month. The happily ever after romance is kind of like if you want an audiobook story that just takes you away from all the stuff that's happening
Mm-hmm.
around you. You just want to escape and, get lost in the arms of this hunky man or in a different, fantastical world. But inspirational fiction really, I think the purpose is to get you to think and ponder if you were in that position, what would you do?
Mm-hmm.
Or, can you relate? It may be different circumstances, but the underlying tone is still there. And can you relate? And so that's been really fun too.
But there's no happily ever after? Is that what you're telling me? Don't tell me
Um,
that. Just say lie to me and say yes, of course. There's an HEA at the end, but then I'm gonna make you think really hard about it before you get to it.
yeah, the two that I've done for Michelle so far have been HEA at the end. But boy, they work hard.
Oh
They work
man.
hard for it.
Oh man. Is it gonna crush my heart or anything first and then put it back together? I just need to know in advance.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Ah man. You're
So
killing me
she
here.
she does a really, really good job. I'm like, wow, that came full circle. And so that's been a fun genre to work with. I've done a little bit of I don't know if it's really considered young audience or youth, but
Young adult?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it's kind of preteen. It feels like more like really early high school,
Middle
versus
grade? So,
yeah, more
okay.
middle grade. So I don't know where that falls.
Middle grade. It's weird about genres because technically YA, young adult, is supposed to start, depending on who you ask, is um, 13, 16, it goes to 18 or something,
Yeah.
18. And then there's new adult, which is 18 and to 25 or something. But then
Oh,
you
okay.
just get the book and you pick it up and say, well, really doesn't matter what age you are. If you like it, just read it. So it's kind of hard. But
Uh,
yours, if it was preteen, then maybe it was more middle grade.
be it could be, but I've done two or three books that fall in that area, and and then I also learned this year what a cozy mystery is.
Me too.
I'm like,
Just
what? But yeah, so I have done two cozy mysteries,
okay.
and um, yeah, so lots of learning, isn't it awesome?
It really is because then it also it lets you see what kind of books that you might want to read later on down the line. And since you've brought them to audio, maybe you've added that to your collection or of genres that you enjoy. So I don't
Yeah.
know. So what do you? So do you? Are you a reader or are you an audiobook listener in your spare time?
Oh, I have my earbuds in all the time.
Good. You're just like me.
All the time. You know, ironing never looks so good until audiobooks.
Or working out because I'll
There you
exercise.
go.
I would just keep exercising just to get to the end of the book. And yeah, so you say, you want it? You don't, no, I don't need Weight Watchers. Just give me a good audio book and I'm good. I might even run a marathon.
That's right. That's right.
So what's like your favorite um audiobook or favorite, I guess, author or type of genre that you enjoy most?
I would have to say inspirational fiction. Um, the one audiobook set that I can listen to over and over and over again, and I think that there's like a total of 8 books in the series, is by Sarah Donati. She's the author,
Okay.
and the first book is called Into the Wilderness,
Mm-hmm.
and it takes place in um are in these New England states. So, New York and all up in here. And it's read by Kate Redding. And oh, she is so fabulous.
So I need to add that to my list too.
Oh yeah.
How many
Oh yeah.
times how many times have you listened to it?
I listen to it at least once a year in the summertime. My gardens call for me and I put Into the Wilderness on and I'm off. It's just you ever seen The Last of the Mohicans?
Yes.
So it's taking off from that.
Okay. And so
And
that's your favorite, favorite series.
yes, yes. And it's historical, it's adventure, it's inspirational, just these characters that you really um come to know.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, it's just fabulous.
See, I have a book that I like to read. People will ask you, what's that one book you can read over and over again or listen to? And mine, I don't think is on audio. And so we need to make a campaign that the Veritas Conflict by Shanti Feldhahn actually makes it to audio because it's I it's inspirational fiction, but it deals with a lot of kind of spiritual warfare, I guess. But it deals
Okay.
with those neat New England states, like you mentioned earlier, with Yale University and some things that went on there. And I could totally see you narrating that book. So I'm starting a campaign this week with the featured voice that we have you put that book on audio.
Awesome. I will look
Yes.
it up and contact the author.
Yes, you should. Yes. And tell her I'm her biggest fan and
That's
that
right.
I've given out her book to everybody I know.
I'll say Jacques says.
Yes. Yes, that should be a thing. Jacques says. Dot dot dot.
Exactly.
All right, so we do have a clip from your latest product, and it's called Deadly. So you want to give us a little bit of background about that and who's the author, so we can let everybody take a listen?
Yeah. So this is the title is Deadly Arrangement, and it is by Michelle and Brown. And in this clip that we're going to listen to, we've got the two main characters that meet for the first time.
Okay.
Something has gone on at the very beginning of this book that has you going, ooh, okay, there's a mystery here to be solved. And the the whole book, you're wondering who did it and why, and you've got all these characters, and they kind of had their own reasons why this murder happened. And yeah, it's fun.
Okay, well, I'm ready to listen to it. Everybody, let's take a listen to this clip, and here we go.
The lawyer continued reading. Though I have not been able to help you find peace while I was alive, maybe I can through my death. Please remember that I love you dearly, and this is for your own good. For that reason, the entire bulk of my estate is bequeathed to Walker Ellen Keene, with a small portion of the holding going to my granddaughter, Bethany. Bethany jumped up, nearly knocking over her chair. She scoffed. What? Could you repeat that? Because I thought I heard you say he gets everything. The lawyer just nodded in reply. She was obviously not in her right mind. She would never give everything to this monster. The lawyer asked her to take her seat. There is more, Miss Peterson. She reluctantly sat back down. Mr. Keene cannot sell or give the estate in any manner to Bethany unless it is through their marriage. A marriage? Bethany glanced at Walker, assuming that he would be gloating. Instead, she found him staring at her in a curious manner. She balked and went on. Like I said, obviously not in her right mind.
I love that clip. It really makes me want to go right to Audible and purchase it, but I'm holding out for my credits, which don't come through until the 25th. So as soon as that happens, I'm adding this to my library. So how exciting was it for you to narrate this particular novel?
Oh, it was fun. Michelle really builds up her characters nicely. And you could tell that as you get in the book that Bethany is kind of spunky,
Mm-hmm.
and she's grounded by her best friend that you'll meet later on in the book. And then you have this Walker who's soft-spoken, and he's just kind of figuring out what's going on. There's some unrest in his life and with his family. And yeah, it was fun. I like the romantic suspense, the cozy mystery type of audiobooks.
And I spoke with, oh gosh, who was it? I think last week's featured voice, Megan Kelly, also mentioned about cozy mysteries, and I told her I haven't yet to read one or listen to them yet. And so they are quickly becoming moved up a little bit in my to be listened category. And it's interesting because I like Columbo, even though he's not technically considered cozy mystery, but I like Columbo. So anything that's similar to a whodunit or like Clue, which I
Yeah.
love. So see, you've introduced me to something that I need to really listen to, and your voice really brings me into the story, which is so important. It's so important for a person who listens to an audiobook for me to be able to feel the emotion. And you said Bethany was spunky, and I felt spunky when I listened to her. So
Good.
so I'm looking forward to hearing it. And that book is currently available on Audible. Everyone, is it available anywhere else? Do you know if it's on iTunes or any of the other sites?
It is in the final stages of quality checking via ACX. So
Okay.
it should be, when it becomes available officially in Audible, it'll be then available via iTunes and Amazon.
Okay, so it hasn't released yet, which maybe it will release really soon, and I'll have my extra credit so that I can grab me a copy because I think it's one that I need to listen to. And so, what's next up for you, Lenore? Um, Lenore. Why did I put an A on the end? You know, it's funny when I searched you, it put an A in there. Like, is that your? It like wanted me to look for Lenore A. Woodsworth.
Yes, which is my middle name.
Oh, see, it just wanted me to say, I'm not psychic, everybody. I know I saw A. There was an A in her name. It just wasn't with her first name. It was spaced out with a period after it. But so what are you currently working on? Anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, I have three more books that'll be coming out. Um, one I'm currently working on is called Finding Hope, and that author is Lucy Ulrich. And this one is about a young teen named Hope who has requested for her 16th birthday to meet her birth parents. And it is the journey of the father and Hope and Hope's mother.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that is a romance, mainly romance, but it's not only a romance between Hope's mother uh, and her real father, her birth father, but also a romance between Hope and her father. Like you see how they develop a relationship. So that one's going to be fun. And
Nice.
then the other one right after that is called A Taste for Love, and that is by author Kathy Badia. And in that one, it is about a young woman who it starts out with a young woman who has just been betrayed by her quote unquote best friend who's male.
Oh.
And then she meets another young man. And so that one sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun as well.
They all sound fun, and I can't even put into a list about which one I would want to listen to first. So hopefully they won't all release at the same time, and it will make my life a little bit easier. But what's your process when you receive these projects? Are you reading the entire book? Do you read it once? Do you skim through? Or what's your whole process like?
I have to read through the entire book, yeah. Because as I'm reading, I am taking note of characters. Are they main characters or just, one chapter characters?
Mm-hmm.
Um, as you're reading through, you get a feel for, is this person, um, is their overall persona rough? Is it, are they nervous? Are they um, very confident? Are they sly?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that doesn't come out until you're really deep into the book, and then you're like, yeah, I can hear this person. I can hear them talking. So
And
I have to do that.
And so, how long does it normally take for you to read? Because I'm slow, so this is probably why this would never work for me. Um, it takes me like 2 weeks to read a book. I know it's bad, it's really bad, but so how long does it normally take you?
It takes me about 3 days to read.
Oh, see, you just put me to shame, and I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a book reviewer, and I can't review your book right now. It's gonna take me 2 weeks. So, so you're about 3 days. I guess it would also depend on how long the book is, but you've got a lot of things that you're doing with that book. You're not just reading it for pleasure like the rest of us. You're, taking notes and things like that. So if you have a book, let's say you have 2 or 3 projects that you're working on and you have to read the 3 books, about how long does it take you to complete an audiobook?
It can take me like 3 weeks from the very first time I open up the book and
Mm-hmm.
read to when I submit it to ACX.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because I read it through, I take my notes, and then I'll go back. And as I'm writing out who the characters are and what drives them, then I have to go back into the book and I have to grab sections so that I can clearly hear the character
Mm-hmm.
in my head. And then I'll begin recording. And my ratio is 3 or 4 to 1. So 3 hours, 4 hours to one recorded hour.
Okay.
Um, so I'm a little slow, but yeah.
No, I think you have a process and you take your time with it, but I would probably be slower. I don't even know if there was a ratio that would even work. So,
And I can only do one book at a time. I'm like amazed. I think Megan says she's got like 3 or 4 books or more. I can't do that. There's too many people living in my head.
you know what? You all as voice over actors or narrators, your work is just as tedious, I think, as an author, because um, you have characters in your head speaking with you. You're going through edits. You have you have a deadline, and then not only that is do you how do you and this has always been my question, if you receive the book, and I don't know if you read from a tablet or if you've got printout pages or what have you, like how do you know when somebody else is speaking? If it was a screenplay or a script, you have the person's name, so are you marking to say, okay, this person is getting ready to speak, or is it pretty natural to know that this person is having a conversation, so the next line must be, John's or something?
Yeah. Yeah. I use a software called I Annotate
Okay.
on my tablet. But really also how the author writes. There are
Mm-hmm.
some authors that it flows very, very naturally, and you know who's talking, and as the author is writing, they're building up, who's going to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's other writing that they will explicitly say, Roger said, or Susanna thought.
Mm-hmm.
But I annotate, which I believe several narrators that I know use it. We can highlight the different dialogue by color,
Mm-hmm.
which is fabulous because as
Yeah.
I'm reading, I'm like, yes, this is my main character, and it's a very quick transition.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good benefit. I have to stop saying really, because I sound like, is it Ed Sullivan who used to say really, really big show? And I'm starting to sound like Ed Sullivan. And I just heard myself say it, and I couldn't think of another word that makes it say that that software is perfect. And I'm glad that they have that, because I could see somebody, getting confused, especially if they're newer. But again, I don't know how everything works. So, as far as your background with any acting or anything like that, because like I said, your voice is it's very kind of soft, and it really gives me, see, I said really again, it gives me everything that I want in the character. So do you have any experience in any type of acting or anything like that?
Acting would be like elementary school. I think I was in A Christmas Carol. But other than that, I've taken classes as an adult,
Okay.
and great coaches. These coaches, those in the audiobook community are just really fantastic. Just the amount
Hmm.
of support that you get, encouragement that you get, really awesome coaches. And I love, someone had shared a quote, and it's by Sanford Meisner. And it says, acting is behaving truthfully in imaginary circumstances. And I thought, yes, I love this.
That's a great quote, and we get to see that, and understand that every time that we listen to an audiobook. And even though it's an audiobook and we can't see anybody, I love that you guys do so much with it, with your voice and the description of the character, that the infliction that you use, the tone, that we feel like we can see the person.
Yeah.
And reading does that as well, but when you can put a voice to that character, it's just amazes me, about how amazing, again, another word I just like to use, audiobooks are. And it's so funny that you said you did A Christmas Carol, and it was elementary school. It doesn't matter. That's, you still remember it. I bet you still remember your part and what character you played and everything. I
I
know you
did.
do. See? So
It
who
was
were you?
I was the wife of Bob Marley.
Oh, you had a pretty good part.
I was just looking forward to the peck on the cheek. When you were a fourth grader, yeah.
That's so funny. So, are there any particular genres that you have not had an opportunity to narrate yet, that you are looking forward to doing outside of that book, for the one that I said we're going to do a campaign for?
Uh, I would like to get into more of I think you said it was new adult.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. And then outside of that, of audiobooks, I have always loved documentaries.
Mm.
Documentaries.
Hmm.
I, with my boys, we grew up on eyewitness videos, and
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
So, eyewitness videos like ABC, when they would have those specials, and they would give you kind of like you said, a documentary. So you would like to do some of those.
Yeah, I think that would
Uh-huh.
be fun.
Interesting. So we're gonna put that out there. Authors who have documentaries that want to enter into the world of audiobook, Lenore is available. And let's tell everybody how they can find you, Lenore, on social media and other platforms.
Oh, thank you. I will. On Twitter, it's Lenore Voice. That's Leonor Voice. And on Facebook, my page is Lenore Voice. And on my website is lenorevoice.com. I try to keep it simple.
Yeah, it's good to keep it simple, because yeah, it's hard when it's Lenore Voice. and then it's your last name, and then some other stuff, and then we can't find you, or they put the A in there, and then I'm calling you Lenora, and it's just bad for business.
Oh, and I looked up. Um, it wasn't Bob Marley's wife. I was Mrs. Cratchit.
Oh, you were Miss Cratchit.
Yes, I was Mrs. Cratchit.
That's funny. You went back and looked up what character you played in the fourth grade.
I'm like, wait a minute, I think Marley was a ghost.
Oh, he didn't have a wife?
I don't think so.
Gosh, now I want to go back and watch A Christmas Carol because I have no idea who the characters are. All I know is what was the main character guy's name?
Ebenezer Scrooge?
Ebenezer Scrooge. Yes, duh. My brain just totally went on vacation with that one, and I could just see him in my head. Yes, Scrooge. Okay, that's because we're thinking about Christmas and it's summer. You can't do that. It's too early. It's too
There is Christmas in July though.
No, it's too early. No. When we both live in places that are cold. So we want to hold on to summer as long as we can. So Christmas is in December and July is beach. We should be at the beach.
Amen to that.
Well, Lenore, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. And I'm excited that you're a part of the featured voice. Lenore is our featured voice guest for the week of June 26th through July 2nd, I believe, if my calendar is correct. So be sure that you are looking at our post on the audio flow on Facebook and also on Twitter at _audio flow. And also on Instagram at the audio flow. I try to keep it simple too. And you'll get to see a few fun facts that she shared with me that I will be sharing with you guys. And so you can get to know Lenore a little bit better.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Until next time, we will chat with you soon. And remember, every voice deserves to be heard. Bye.